Mandy, you guys have been so creative in the way that you've put together these combined plantings of annuals and bulbs. Talk to me about how you've designed these gardens.
Well, typically we put our daffodils in our perennial areas with trees and shrubs, but our tulips center in our annual areas. We plant the tulips under our pansies. And a lot of places in the country don't plant when we do, which is October and November, but you can still put your tulips in then and then come back later with your pansies if you need to. The tulips will still find their way up.
So, I can imagine at the end of the season when the tulips are all finished and of course you've got to move all these out. That's going to be a heck of a lot of work.
It's quite a task getting all the tulips up. We come in with a spading fork and lift the soil to loosen it. And so when you pull the bulbs, the bulb and all of the foliage comes up then. And we take them out piece by piece. And that also helps just loosen up the soil and get it ready for planting in the summer.
Gotcha. One thing that many people may not know is that there's a whole range of summer flowering bulbs. And I know some of them are very near and dear to your heart,
yep.
like the rain lily.
Yep.
I want you to just talk to us a little bit about ones that you would particularly recommend for American gardeners.
There's a whole range of summer bulbs, which not a lot of people know. In the springtime, you plant them so that they bloom in the summer. Zephyranthes, rain lily, you mentioned, is one of my favorites. It blooms after a rainstorm, so a nice little treat for rain events. But there's a lot of others. There's gladiolus and caladiums, blackberry lilies, a whole range of lilies and irises. There's really a big world of summer bulbs out there that maybe a lot of people don't recognize as bulbs.
And so for almost any season, there's going to be a bulb that extends the color.
Exactly.
And they're very carefree plants as well.
Oh yeah, very carefree. You plant them and they'll just keep giving to you year after year.
Wonderful. Well, one of the questions we get from viewers all the time is, how do I correctly plant bulbs? Some of them, it can be difficult to figure out which way is up, and then how deep do I put it in,
yep.
and time of year, etc. I want you to plant some bulbs for us and give us some tips on how to do it correctly.
Yeah, well, we get that question all the time as well. And a very good general rule of thumb is to plant a bulb twice as deep as it is high. We have some little rain lily bulbs here, and you can even measure it on your trowel. If you put it at the end of the trowel, just measure twice as deep up again, and that's a good way to figure out how deep to put it in. You can just move your mulch away. You don't want to dig down and get your mulch mixed in with the ground, but just go down as deep as you've measured it. Move it back. Put your bulb in so that the pointy end is up, and your root bottom, your flatter part, is toward the bottom. Put it in and cover it up, and then move your mulch back over the top of it again.
So you've got a couple of other examples here. We've got a little clump of dahlias here, and these little tubers can be a bit intimidating as you look at them.
They can.
What advice would you give me if I was going to be planting a group of dahlias?
They are. Some come in clumps like this. Again, you're still going to want to plant this fairly deep with as large as these tubers are, but it's already started putting out a little bit of growth for you, so that's a good hint of where to start to plant them. But you can kind of see where some of the growth is coming off of, and maybe how you'd want to orient it when you put it in the ground. But again, kind of take your gauge from how large the bulb is on how deep you're going to want to plant it.
Gotcha. So what's the worst thing that could happen if I plant this upside down?
The worst things that'll happen, a lot of times bulbs are very good about righting themselves, but it takes a lot of energy for them to turn themselves around and come back up. But chances are you'd still get some foliage and it'd still come up for you.
Good. That's great. Thank you for the tips.
Thanks.